Hello students, Patrick Devlin here, founder of StudyBuddy Studios, and I'm here to tell you I'm ready to take things to the next level. I'm now in the business of creating highly interactive virtual tours that you can use for teaching and testing purposes. You can take them anywhere with you, and they can be an extension of your college. Now, my new business I called the Digiverse because it is a digital universe. Basically, it's what it is. It's a virtual tour with video production values and video game like qualities. Also, these virtual classrooms have video conference capabilities. So as a teacher, there's different ways that you can hold classes virtually within the Digiverse. So I've got a quick video for you to watch to show you what I've been up to, and then we'll get back to it in a little bit. Citizens of Kingston, I am Captain Cameraman, here to bring your advertising campaigns to the next level. For those of you with the courage to do so, follow me to the Digiverse and beyond! Great Scott! Freeze program. Greetings and welcome to the Digiverse, a collaboration of imagination providing highly interactive digital replicas of your physical space to sell your merchandise, services, or just have fun. We can insert music, video, pictures, graphics, or links to anywhere on the internet. We support video calls with groups of people and much, much more. Now you might think I'm in some kind of big studio with a lot of expensive gear, when the reality is I'm just in my bedroom right now and I'm filming this on my phone. Where does he get all these wonderful toys? Visit digiversestudios.com and all your questions will be answered. All right, now that was quite silly, but it's only my pilot and I was just learning, and I made this video basically to show people what I'm capable of. This is the pilot tour, the pilot video. So the tour is available for download in the description below. Now here's what I have to offer to colleges and universities to help extend their campus and help them with their students. So when I was in Fleming College, it was the best years of my life, but I needed a better way to learn, or a newer way to learn. So I started making study guides for tests. Started off with slideshows and moved to video, and they're very amateur. Since then, I went to Confederation College in Thunder Bay, and I was trained in television broadcast production. I was running my own company for a couple of years. Lockdowns happened. I got shut down. Then the government gave me a grant to extend my business. So I decided to go and get into the virtual tour business. Now, I use a program called 3D Vista, and I don't mind telling you about that because it is the way of the future. This is a future of education. It's actually a very involved program. So if anybody wants to compete with me out there, that's fine. There's lots of work. This is the way of the future. So I went to Fleming College, so I'm going to use you as an example, but this offer goes out to any college or university in Ontario. So my rock and mineral identification video, as amateur as it was, has over 2 million views. So that right there tells you the value of it. Now, the problem with video is that, well, I didn't get paid a penny for that. It's just out there and anybody could watch, which was fine because I like helping people and it helped me and whatever. But what if I told you that I have a plan to create another rock and mineral identification video that is a virtual tour of the biocommons. So think of Google Street View. You know how you could walk around and everything like that. However, the virtual tours I can make with this 3D Vista program are highly interactive. You can have students walk around the biocommons, click on different rock samples, and have pictures come up, have videos come up, have descriptions come up of the rocks, have them there's a text to speech within the program that can turn any text into speech for those with maybe visual impairments. It could be within the program. It can be translated into any language, so that if you notice in my tour, I got it just toggled between English and French. But I can do this with any language, and any language can be read out loud as well. So in my tour, I've also, you could see I'm in my tour, you click on me and I come to life and I start talking and I do my little spiel, and then I just sit there and I wait for somebody to click on me again. Well, imagine if you had your people in your virtual tours. I film them in front of a green screen. That's how I did it with myself. I can film people in front of a green screen and insert them in the tour so that your people are teaching or working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The sun is always shining, always open for business. These tours are also SCORM compliant. So if you're in the education industry, you know what that means. You can have teachers in live guided tours, which is basically like a Zoom call within the tour itself. So, I mean, going into the biocommons is great. You get the social interaction. You could, you could look at the samples that are on paper underneath the laminate. But I mean, you could still hang out with your friends in the Digiverse, in the virtual classrooms, and you can have discussions. There are several ways you can have these virtual classrooms. You could have it so everybody's mic's on, so more like a study group. You could have it so that the teacher is in control of, well, because you have to have one person hosting the live guided tours. You can have the teachers in control, and students need permission to have their mics turned on. So no more talking out of turn. Like you can't interrupt the teachers. Or you could have it just in lecture form so that you just guide a couple hundred people through your tour, whether it's a rock and mineral identification, or if it's a tour for tree identification. Like I could actually make a tour going through the forest, like tree identification at Fleming College. We actually walked through the woods and all the trees were numbered and we studied them. So imagine if you could do that virtually. I can take my 360 camera, make a virtual tour, virtual classroom. And then what we do is I take pictures or videos of all the different aspects of the trees, the bark, the twig, the leaves, all that stuff. So when you click on the tree, all the pictures, all the information comes up. You could have a teacher have a guided tour through the woods and talk about certain aspects. We could film people in front of the green screen and insert them into the tour. So their avatars or their like 2D holograms are always in there working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They never get tired. The sun is always shining in the Digiverse. They could be talking about okay, so this is the white pine, and talk about all the different aspects of the trees. We could do this for, we did a trip to for land reclamation. So as long as we get permission from the landowners and probably give them a cut of the action, we can make these virtual tours and sell them, like rent them, not sell them, rent them for other schools to use. So if, let's say you got a high school in the urban area, let's say they're in a dense New York City, and these kids don't get out to the forest at all, but they want a virtual tour. Well, you know what? Their school could rent your virtual classroom, virtual outdoor classroom, even for a week. And they could say, okay, well, we're going to learn about trees. And they could either have it on the computer screen, their phones, VR goggles. Take your pick. Take your pick. It's all up to you. I can make them so that they're compatible with all devices. So our only limits within reason are our imaginations. Now, if you're a student, this is basically learning by playing video games. And you could hang out with your friends in there and your teachers and discuss whatever assignments may be at hand. But for the higher ups in the education system, this is a virtual expansion of your campus, and all of these virtual classrooms can be duplicated. They're all protected by passwords that I could change at any time, and I could also train your staff to help manage that. And we could rent them out to the world. Now, I'm taking my rock and mineral video as an example. It's got over 2 million views, and they are from around the world. So what if you had a virtual tour of the biocommons with all the rock samples set up around there, and all you have to do is click on the sample and boom, pop-up window, and it's got pictures or video with text that can be read out loud by the computer, and you can turn it off if it gets on your nerves. It can be translated to any language, because once they're made, I could duplicate them, switch them around a little bit. You could have your logo in them. So you could actually have one of your virtual classrooms with your logo on the cap, which is the part that covers a tripod. You could have, like, say, Fleming College, your logo in there, and then you could rent it out to other colleges. So you could actually advertise. You could have other colleges pay you to advertise your college in their college. That's pretty cool. These could also be shared with high school students. So you can have high schools pay you to advertise to their students, and they're basically learning by playing a video game. It's the gamification of virtual tours. They're highly interactive. You could duplicate tours, and then you could assign a certain one of the duplications to a certain school or college, and then we can control the password very easily. So you could rent them out to other colleges to use. They pay you, and then when the deal's over, you just change the password, and that's it. And these tours, also any videos that I can make for you, like, they can be hosted on YouTube, but you don't really want that, because then you have other people using your intellectual property for free. But what I can do is embed them right inside the tours. So you need the password to get access to these tours, and they pay you to get that. And okay, so you got to think of this scenario. Students may share these, and they're not supposed to. Well, first of all, that's theft over $5,000, because it's intellectual property that belongs to the college, and it should be known to the students that this is a no-no. There's got to be some flexibility there, because you could have your branding all over it, and even if it does get leaked out, first of all, we could change the passwords every day if we want. Second of all, it's actually free advertising for your college, right? So I'm just going to use an example. Say I do it for Fleming College, and they got a buddy in Seneca College. They're both studying environmental technician or geology. So they might get to use it for free for a day, but they're going to see your logo all over the place. Free advertising. And once again, that should be frowned on. So that's my pitch. I can create highly interactive virtual classrooms for teaching and testing, which will be an expansion of your college or university into the Digiverse. We could multiply the classrooms as many times as you want and rent them out and make a lot of money. Like, how many colleges or universities around the world teach geology? Right? Thousands. We could literally sell this to thousands of different colleges and universities around the world, and I can train, because I can't handle all those passwords myself. I could train your staff to manage the passwords. That's the easy part. The rest of it's kind of involved. But we can have 10 people. Their dedicated job is to manage the virtual end of your college or university. If you're a student out there and any of my videos have ever helped you, or you think this is a good idea, if you would like to learn by playing video games at home, I need you to share this video on social media. I need you to email your teachers. I need you to download the tour that's in the description. Now, I have it hosted online, but I don't have enough bandwidth to accommodate. I've got 20,000 subscribers to this YouTube channel, and I want this to go viral. I need this to go viral because this is the way of the future. So help me help you. Help me help you. You want to learn by playing video games? Yes. If you're a college, how would you like to expand your campus with no boundaries? You can have Rock and Mineral. You can have a Rock and Mineral virtual classroom translated to any language and rent it to people in India, colleges in India, in China, in Japan, in Australia, any language. There are no boundaries. Think of the money you could make with this. And it's all password protected. So I can set you up. So you've got your own accounts, and I can manage them for you and train other staff, because eventually, if you sell 1,000 tours, that's too much for one guy to handle. But I could help you and train your staff for password management so that we could, once this is made, it's made too. So you could constantly be making money off this and renting it to schools around the world. And this has a possibility to make you more money through renting these virtual classrooms than your students' tuition. Like Fleming College, you got 1,500 students. Well, what if you sell this virtual classroom to 1,000 different classrooms, colleges around the world? Now that's just the rock and mineral. You've also got tree identification. You've also got plant identification. The possibilities are there. I was also in the resource drilling and blasting program. So what if you had a virtual tour that goes around a drill rig, and if you click on a button, it tells you what that button does. You click on that control panel, a video pops up out of nowhere and shows you the starting sequence for that rig. We could teach safety. We could teach operation procedures. It's limitless, and everything is password protected. So it's not like putting up a video on YouTube. These videos will be solely hosted within the tours, and you can't steal them. I mean, you could take your phone and film the screen when you're in the tour. That's about it. So if you're a higher education institution and you want to be ahead of everybody else, you need me on your team, either as staff or as an independent contractor. The password management will be a full-time job, probably for more than one person once these get going. And that's not my passion. My passion is creation. I'm Captain Cameraman. Yeah, I'm one of the masters of the Digiverse, right? I like to create. I like to have fun. So I could train your people to do the password changes. So your intellectual property is protected. And my dream job is to basically move from college to college and help people out with their different study guides. So you don't have to sell these. If you do, the deal is that I get a certain amount of royalties, because that's how she goes. First come, first serve, best offer wins. Help me help you. Show me the money. See you soon.